let's check in real quick because, I mean, when all of us think of leadership, we think of more than anything protecting our national security secrets from the numerous villains across the world. And obviously, there's a lot of things you use to use firewall, spies with little guns that give you a heart attack, a space ray made by Jews. There's a lot of ways you can fight back against our national secrets getting out and costing Americans their lives. Then there's Pete Hegseth, or one of Trump's cabinet, accidentally adds you to a signal group, and suddenly you have access to everything because your number is one off from somebody important. I doubt it. More than likely, it's because it was in their phone. But here you go.
Atlantic, to me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
It's amazing, by the way. In any other circumstance, this would be like an all hands on deck gathering around the desk in the Oval Office. All hands on desk, I guess. Let's call it that. Where everybody would just get together and go, okay, shit, this is bad. We need to find a way to message this. We got to cover our asses. And honestly, some people are like, he's playing stupid, he's playing stupid, he's playing dumb. I don't know that he is. I think he's out of the loop. I think he's asking a genuine question. Now, we have no way of knowing because his ignorance is so aligned with his arrogance and his defensiveness that they all look the same.
The Houthis, you mean the attack on the Houthis? Right. Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective, I can tell you that. I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic.
Also, I think I don't know. I was about to say he misunderstands, but I don't know that he's capable of understanding it in the first place. So can you misunderstand something if you do not have the capability to understand both English or the question or the concept of how bad this is? Somebody's got to ask a follow-up to this. Will they? Maybe we'll see. But I'm sure after this, Hegseth got an earful, at the very least, if not from Trump, from those around him. Let's see. Here's a. I guess this is the bullet fuller. This would be this is a better image of it. Hold on one second. This is a little better. The same basic thing.
Well, President, your reaction to the story in the Atlantic that said that some of your top cabinet officials and aides had been discussing very sensitive material through Signal and included an Atlantic reporter for that. What is your response to that?
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business.
Also, let's just say, let's follow this path a little bit. The Atlantic sucks. Going out of business. There's no even reason to regard it as a real magazine. And yet it ended up in the favorite phone numbers in the Signal group of your national security advisor. So let me get this straight. Your defense is that the Atlantic, which sucks and is failing, still has access to your national security advisor, or your national security advisor is so fucking dumb. He's hunting for clout points from a failing newspaper? None of this makes any sense. It's obviously, this is his, when in doubt, this is his cornered rat. These are the standard 2 neck dodges that a cornered rat does, that he always does.
It's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had.
So, sorry, the magazine that sucks and and that knows everything about it knows nothing about, nothing about the subject that they were aware of and printed a story on. So they suck and you know less than they do. Follow me?
What?
They were using Signal.
What?
To coordinate on sensitive materials and
having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
With the Houthis.
The Houthis, you mean the attack on the Houthis? Right. Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective.
Okay. Does he think that the Atlantic was talking to the Houthis? reporter, you're shit at asking the question. Your national security advisor accidentally or on purpose added a reporter to a top secret signal group that shared plans, attack plans. That reporter heard all the conversations, got all the plans texted to them via signal. Who's in charge? Where was the breakdown? Where was the in the chain of command, who failed in your administration?
I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time. Anybody else?
Just dodge it entirely. I've never heard. I don't know. Whatever. It'll pass. It won't pass. It'll just go into the on the weights does Hegseth weigh more than a duck? It will go on that side of the scales as one of the bricks to justify giving him the ouster at some point. Oh, staff chat? Yes, will do. Hopefully it's something not too bad. Let's see, whatever. Oh, top Trump official accidentally texted war plans. This is the reporter. Yes, I read that this morning. Papow. So, it's the PBS. Oh, that's the PBS news hour. He was on there. Okay, so this is Jeffrey Goldberg talking about it. Excellent. Hold on, let's jump in here real quick.
Senior Trump administration officials, including the vice president and secretary of defense, used the encrypted.
I don't know why they're not saying who they are. Boozy McUnderpants and Slappy Dum Dum. That's not necessarily in that order.
Messaging apps Signal to debate the pros and cons of launching military strikes against the Houthis in Yemen.
And they accidentally invited.
Oops.
Editor-in-chief of The Atlantic and Washington Week moderator Jeffrey Goldberg to be part of that chat group. Goldberg revealed the details today in a report published for The Atlantic, and he joins me now. Jeff, welcome to the News Hour. Thanks for joining us.
Jeff's like, I didn't want to be a part of this story.
Thanks for having me.
So you're added to this group chat. You see some 18 or so other people on it. Among them appear to be senior national security and cabinet officials like Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Pete.
He signed off of the Signal group, but not before making a note of, or taking a screenshot, I guess, of who was involved in this. Now, I got to tell you, why the Secretary of the Treasury maybe Secretary of State. Why the Secretary of Treasury was included, other than the fact that they seem to be including fucking everybody. And by the way, this is more than there are more than this group. This group of 10, there were at least 8 more, he was saying, or so, including himself.
John Ratcliffe, Tulsi Gabbard, Stephen Miller, Steve Witkoff, Michael Waltz. How did you end up on this chat? And when do you realize it looks like you were added by mistake?
I was invited a couple of weeks ago to connect with Michael Waltz, the national security advisor. That didn't strike me as particularly strange, given my job and his job. A little while later, I'm added to a group chat with the people you just named. That seemed strange.
Michael Waltz, come on down. You're the next contestant.
But I kind of just ignored it a little bit. And then, it really became a very bizarre situation.
No pun intended, but my phone was blowing up with notifications about things that were blowing up.
On Saturday, the 15th of March, when I was shared on a text in this group from somebody purporting to be Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. This text contained operational military information, including the time that bombs were supposed to start dropping on Yemen. And this was 2 hours before that time. So I simply waited and stared at my phone. And sure enough, the American attack on Yemen began to be felt at about 1:30 Eastern or so, 1:50 Eastern. And that's when I realized that the chain was real. Until that point, I really had a deep suspicion that I was being spoofed or hoaxed.
Because no one could be this dumb. Oh, yeah, they can. Yes. Pete Hegseth, this dumb. Walls, this dumb. Hashtag the best people.
Or being led astray on a disinformation campaign, the rationale for which I can't figure out. But this all seems so improbable that I simply assumed that
Improbable is not the word. It's stupid is the word.
couldn't be real.
And I want to point out, you share some details, you report some details of what unfolds on that text chain. When it comes to these operational details, though, you're very careful with your language. You write in your piece what appears to be from the account of Pete Hegseth posts, quote, operational details of forthcoming strikes on Yemen, including information about targets, weapons the U.S. would be deploying, an attack sequence.
On signal, not an internal, next level White House proprietary text chain, whatever, on fucking Signal. I mean, at this point, why didn't they just use AOL Online? Just send each other emojis.
This gets posted 2 hours later, the bombings begin. And then what do you see unfold on the group chat?
A lot of happiness and virtual high-fiving. There's some reporting.
Oh my God. It's as douchey as we think it is.
Again, material that I didn't feel comfortable reporting because it contained tactical operational information about the effects of the bombing on various places in Yemen. Mainly, it was the participants in this group chat, which, as you note, contain...
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna. Oh my God. This is pathetic. Holy shit. And Michael Waltz right there, the one with the fist bump, American flag, and the fire, is the dude who let Jeffrey Goldberg into the group. John Ratcliffe, a good start. Good job, Pete and your team. Marco Rubio, you think? The team in MAL, Mar-a-Lago, did a great job as well, I guess. Down there at the bottom. Jesus Christ. It's almost like it's distracting from what an actual breach this is, how actually dangerous, what a violation this is of just the normal safety practices for national security, right? It's a violation of that, but it's so douchey and lame that it's almost distracting from how serious it is.
Most of the national security leadership of the United States congratulating each other and sending emojis, flag emojis, muscle emojis, fire emojis to each other in celebration of a successful mission.
We did hear from Brian Hughes. I know you did as well, the spokesman for the National Security Council, who sent a statement in response when you did reach out. He said that it appears the message thread was authentic, that they're reviewing how an inadvertent number, presumably yours, was added.
I know. Waltz invited him, like it says in the fucking piece. I don't know. How's the investigation going? I'm on paragraph 5. Get the fuck out of here.
Also says, quote, the thread is a demonstration of the deep and thoughtful
emojis.
Policy coordination between senior officials.
I don't even know why you wrote something. Why didn't you just go like double barrel, middle fingers, fire, I don't know, eggplant emoji, water splash.
The ongoing success of the Houthi operation demonstrates that there were no threats to our service members or our national security. Jeff, you have reported on national security for decades, that this is being held up as an example of a deep and thoughtful policy coordination. Had you ever seen anything like this before?
This, I mean, outside of like, checking your son's phone to see who he's texting with when he's 14.
I don't disagree with something that he said. If you look at the story in theatlantic.com, you'll see that They are having a live debate, including the Vice President of the United States, about the utility of attacking Yemen.
But Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger who can do this. Nobody else even close. Question is timing. I feel like now is a good time as any, given POTUS directive to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but POTUS still retains 24 hours of decision space. As I heard it, the president was clear, green light, but we soon make clear to Egypt and Europe what we expect in return. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement. Example, if Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? If the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return. Like this isn't thoughtful. It's them turning it into a fucking protection racket.
The European component of this and various other things. There's interesting discourse going on, but
look at Pete Hegseth, VP. I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic in all caps.
Everything I understand, they're not supposed to be doing this on commercial messaging apps.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Got quite lucky that they included my phone number in the, if they're going to pick an errant phone number.
Yeah, and not Sergei Lavrov's.
At least it wasn't somebody who supported the Houthis, because they were actually handing out information that I believe could have endangered the lives of American service people who were involved in that operation.
I guess the question here too, Jeff, is what don't we know? How many other group chats are there? Do you know how frequently Signal is used as this kind of, in this way at that level?
We don't know that. I am under the impression from administrations prior to this administration that Signal is often used by national security officials, but mainly as a planning device. What time is the meeting? That sort of thing. I have never in my life seen a commercial messaging app used to discuss whether and when and how to attack another country.
Yeah, but you've also never seen a group of people this fucking stupid. So there's that. Thanks for that, Andrea. Thanks for passing that along. Good God. And the weak sauce response to this, I suppose, you know, what's the upside? We get to see Glenn Beck running cover for him. I do say that the one silver lining to a lot of these things when they do happen is that you get to watch all the normal suck-ups start putting chapstick on so that they don't chap his ass with their lips. Now, let's see. Oh, God, it's so fucking embarrassing. By the way, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/HalSpark, Super Chats, and there's the Venmo thingy. If you want to support the show, buy me a cup of coffee, yabbada, yabbada, yabbada. Now, oh, and there's a couple of Super Chats already. What was this? Oh, thank you, Treva. Been a member for nearly, hold on, did it come up? Hold on. Where is it? There it is. Been a member for nearly 4 years. From the beginning. Thank you so much. And Blue Voter says, appreciate all you do, Hal. Thank you very much. And Marianne, thank you, Hal, for getting me through this madness. Well, you know, it helps to be slightly mad myself, you know. And, you know, they say it takes a thief to catch a thief. Well, when the world is insane, come to a nutty person. Hello. I'm kidding. Actually, like the irony that I'm painfully stable in so many ways, so as to be vanilla. Although I will say that in defense of the word vanilla, if you drink direct like vanilla extract, it's a hallucinogen. Don't do it. It's also completely unsafe, but it's intoxicating at some point. So I'm intoxicatingly vanilla. It's the intoxicatingly vanilla is the is the far too white version of sexual chocolate. If I do say so my damn self.